The meeting will come to order. Welcome to our February regular board meeting. It is great to see everyone tonight, and certainly thankful for such great attendance, and glad to know that so many people are interested in our students in our district. That's certainly a compliment to us, and we thank you for your presence. And we hope that you will continue to join us as we work together to elevate our students, our schools, and our school district. I would like to inform you that our board just left executive session to discuss personnel matters, homeschooling applications, and to receive legal advice on legal matters pertaining to 2024-CP-23-02521. No decisions were made and no votes were taken. Our first item on the agenda is the welcome, the prayer, and the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand for our prayer and remain standing for our Pledge of Allegiance. Dr. Presley, our board secretary, will lead us in the prayer at this time. Dr. Presley?
God of mercy and love, we come together tonight to ask for guidance and wisdom. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a group and to nurture the bonds of community as we make decisions to positively impact the students, families, and staff of our district. All this we ask in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Dr. Presley. And Ms. Brett, would you like to introduce our special guest tonight who's going to be leading us in the pledge?
I certainly would. Thank you so much, Dr. Stiles. Tonight we welcome Alea Glover to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Alea is an exceptional 8th grade student at Tanglewood Middle School. She currently serves as the student body vice president and is actively involved in softball, the Tanglewood step team, and chorus, while also singing in her church choir. Alea enjoys spending time with her family, attending church, and being with friends. She's an excellent student who is consistently positive, upbeat, and always willing to help her classmates and her teachers. After high school, she aspires to attend Harvard University and study law and pursue her goal of becoming a lawyer. Joining Alea tonight are her parents, Charles and Dortrice Glover, her brother, Dalen, and her grandmothers, Dorothy Henderson and Della Mathis, along with her principal, Mr. Leroy Platt. Thank you all for being here, and thank you so much, Alea, for being here as well. If you would, please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and you may be seated, and thank you, Alea, for being a difference maker at Tanglewood Middle School. The next matter of business is item 1.02, School Board Association Years of Service Recognition. We have 2 board members who we are celebrating tonight for their years of service, many years of service. And Ms. Morrison-Fair, if you would please join me down at the podium, and I'm going to ask you to assist me in presenting these awards. Before I present, I would just like to say, as a school board member, that serving on the school board is certainly selfless service. And so all of us are here because we love and we care about our students. And many of our school board members have spent a lot of years caring for our Greenville County students. And that's why we honor them when they reach certain milestones. Tonight we have one board member who has this year marks her 10th year of service. And at this time, we'd like to recognize Ms. Michelle Goodwin-Caldwell. Please join me in giving her a great big round of applause. And Michelle, we have a pin for you, 10 years of service. Okay. And we'll let Ms. Morrison-Fair pin that on you, as well as a certificate. And we just like to say on behalf of our board, thank you for your many years of dedicated service.
You're welcome.
Oh. The next person that I'm going to recognize has 20 years of dedicated service. And many of you know her. She's very well known in our district and has contributed so much over the years. Please join me in congratulating Linda Leventis Wells. And Linda, we also have a pin for you, 20 years of service. You wear this now, put that on that beautiful pink coat you have on tonight. And the board would also like to recognize you with a certificate.
Oh, nice.
Thank you so much for your many, many years of dedicated service.
Thank
We
you,
appreciate
Carolyn.
that.
Thank you.
Let's give her a great big round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And in honor of School Board Appreciation, last month we had some bad weather, but just as the board chair, I'd like to say to all of our school members, thank you for your selfless service, and thank you for loving and caring for the students of Greenville County. We appreciate all of you. Our next matter of business is 2.01, to approve the consent calendar. The consent calendar consists of items 2.01 through 2.05. We have a recommended motion from the administration. Do I have a maker of the motion?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Ms. Brett?
I recommend that we approve the motion of the consent calendar as presented.
Thank you.
Second.
I believe I have a second first from Mrs. Mosley. Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion carries. Our third matter of business is 3.01, the appearance of visitors. Welcome to those who have signed up this evening to speak before the Board of Trustees, and thank you for your interest in our schools. We have 7 speakers tonight, and at this time, I would like to ask Ms. Mosley, our Vice Chair, to read the guidelines that we ask all of our guest speakers to abide by. Ms. Mosley?
Thank you so much. As each speaker's name is called, he or she should proceed to the podium at the end of the board's dais where there is a microphone and light system. Each speaker has up to 3 minutes to speak to the board. The light system will be green for the first 2 minutes and will turn yellow when 1 minute remains on the speaker's allotted time. In keeping with board policy KCA, abusive language or personal attacks aimed at students or staff members will not be permitted. All speakers are expected to behave in an orderly and respectful manner. The board will not engage in discussion with the speaker or respond to comments, and the superintendent will designate a member of the staff to respond to each speaker in an appropriate and timely manner.
Thank you, Ms. Mosley. Our first speaker is Adrienne Nelson.
Hi, my name is Adrienne Nelson. I am a senior at Wade Hampton High School, and today I want to talk about the Future Teacher Academy and the impact that it's had on me personally. If you had asked me 2 years ago that I was going to be an educator, I probably would have told you you were crazy. But at the end of my sophomore year when we were signing up for classes, I decided to take a chance on the Future Teacher Academy and give it a go. That semester, I was placed in a kindergarten class, and I loved my time there. Being with the students every single day was so much fun, and building the bonds with them was something that I can't even put into words. Throughout the Future Teacher Academy, I've gotten to be in 3 different placements, in kindergarten, 2nd grade, and 3rd grade, and I've decided that I want to teach 2nd grade in the future. One of my favorite memories during my time in my field placements at the Future Teacher Academy was this past Valentine's Day. I'm sure y'all can all remember when you were kids and you would have your Valentine's Day parties, but all the kids got their little treats, all their goodies, and it was just so much fun. I've also gotten the privilege to serve on the leadership board this year. That experience has been tremendous in shaping my decision to pursue a degree in the field of early childhood education. One of my favorite things about the board has been being able to meet other students from across the county who are also pursuing degrees in education. There's just something about being with people who have similar interests as you that is really uplifting and has really helped to narrow down my focus of what I want to do in the future. I'm really excited to go to Clemson next year and to be a Tiger and major in education. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Sarah Beth Wood.
Good evening. My name is Sarah Beth Wood. I'm a mom to 4 children in Greenville County Schools, 2 in middle school that are with me today, and 2 in elementary school. I'm also a former first grade teacher and a current sub for the county. I'm here tonight to implore the board to start implementing regulations and restrictions regarding Chromebooks and their usage in our schools. Ideally, no technology would be introduced until high school, but I recognize that may not be feasible. But safeguards to protect our children and the quality of their education is very much feasible, and I believe imperative to keep apace with other first world countries' educational systems. In the current system, children as young as 5 are asked to take tests on computers. This age is where fine motor skills, social and emotional skills, as well as eye tracking skills should be introduced and reinforced by writing in notebooks, coloring, working together in centers, and reading paper books and tests. Instead, there is computer-based learning, reading on a mirror, and tests are given as an easy way out, not only for teachers, but the district, as more and more tests are given as more and more tests are being introduced throughout the past 9 years I've had a child in the school system. When I've asked why so many tests are taken on the computer, the general answer is, well, SC Ready is given on the computer, so we need to prepare them for that. But the better question is, why is the state doing this? And why we, as a district who holds the purse strings for many other school districts, are allowing this to be the case. Test scores aside, it is next to impossible as a parent to help your child learn from their mistakes when no tests come home. I find this starts in earnest around 2nd grade and jumps greatly by 3rd, and I have not seen a test come home in the 3 years my children have been in middle school. My children attend top-rated schools in the county, so how much more is being done in poorer-performing schools? Can we please go back to paper and pen tests? My own children are here today to speak about how awful computer-based testing and learning is. Along those lines of being powerless as a parent, the lack of textbooks makes it incredibly hard for me to see what concepts my children are being taught, and is further exacerbated by the fact that I cannot help them study and review concepts. They are learning to study with Kahoot and Gim kits. What happened to paper study guides, flashcards, and note-taking? Why is my 8th grader still doing computer-based studying when taking 3 high school credit honors classes? Greenville County prides itself on its graduation rate and college acceptance rate. But how many of these students go on to further education completely lacking in fundamental skills that should be taught in elementary, middle, and certainly high school? We have let our children be the guinea pigs far too long in the wild west of digital learning. It is time that we, as the adults and guardians for our children, put a stop to this computer-based learning. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Daniel Wood.
Hello, my name is Danny Wood, and I'm from Northwood Middle. I think the use of Chromebooks is something that needs to stop, or needs to be a little bit less of. We use them in all of our classes, and almost all the assignments are on them. When I have homework like Delta Math or Alex, it's really hard to do them when they won't load, which happens a lot. When I lose a lot of study time because of this, it'd be much easier to just have a textbook or a piece of paper to take home. And that's because there's none they would have to load. And I wouldn't lose any time. And almost all of our quizzes and tests are on the computer. And if there's a passage, it's usually at the top of the test. So if you have to scroll up to the top to get it, you lose your train of thought. And it just takes a lot longer, and it can be really frustrating. When we have retakes, I can't see what I missed because the tests are on computer and they won't let you go back to see. But if it was on paper, I'd be able to see what I got wrong. And then on the retakes, I'd be able to do better. It also takes my parents out of the equation because they can't help me to do better. When all the grades are on paper, people can't cheat either. On computers, they can just take screenshots and put it on like the search bar or whatever, or use their phone, but paper, it's a lot harder. And I know the importance of maintaining high grades and the injustice of someone getting a better grade because of computer usage is something that makes me worry that I'll not be able to get in college I want to. Chromebooks and the use of them should be limited much more in our schools and making education better. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Catherine Wood.
Hello, my name is Catherine Wood, and I'm a 6th grader at Northwood Middle School. I'm here to tell you why I believe that Chromebooks are bad and hurt my learning. There are many different reasons why. First, it's hard for some students to focus on tests taken on the computer. I have ADHD, and it's hard to stay focused when you don't have paper in front of you. Many tests make me switch from one page to another, and it's hard to remember what I read when I can't see the question in front of me. A paper test lets me look at a paragraph I am reading, and the question is asking me on the answer at the same time, which is less distracting to my brain. Secondly, in math or science, it is mostly better for students to have hands-on learning because it can help me remember if they have done the work themselves, and it is even better if they have fun doing it. Hands-on learning can be more interesting for kids so they would pay attention in class and not zone off. In my science class, we do not do a lot of hands-on learning, but we fill out Google Slides all the time. It is hard to remember what I fill out because I type it instead of write it down. Thirdly, many students play games in the class and don't pay attention. If there are no Chromebooks, students would not be able to do that, and they would not get in trouble as much. This takes time from teachers to deal with this and takes time away from the class. Also, it is distracting to me when a kid is playing a game instead of classwork. My brain is already more easily distracted than most. This makes it even harder. Finally, kids being on Chromebooks can make them be on screens way more than family would want them to be on. Kids having access to screens would make them more likely to be addicted to screens. Thank you for listening. I hope this will fix our problem in schools.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Britton Swingle.
Hi, I'm Britton Swingle. I have 2 boys at Greenville County Schools. So this evening, I invite you to flashback to 6th grade, specifically your 6th grade. So your teacher is Miss Penman, and she is a legend at your middle school. The 8th graders say, if you can pass Miss Penman's class, you can do anything. Tomorrow, Miss Penman is giving a test on South Carolina history. You study a little, but then decide to go ride bikes with your neighborhood friends. The next day, everyone walks into Miss Penman's class quietly in anticipation. She hands out the stapled copies of the test. Right away, you know the answer to the first question and write it all out. The second question, though, stops you in your tracks, and you dig back in your brain, but you can't come up with an answer. So you move on, complete the test, and get ready to turn it in. Now comes the point where you must approach Miss Penman's desk, and surely she will see on the first page that you did not write anything for question number 2. Your hands get sweaty and your face turns red as she looks down at your paper in the stack. Later that evening, you realize you really should have studied more, and you are not going to make that mistake again. The next day, Ms. Penman passes out the graded test and then reviews each problem on the board as you make corrections on your own paper. She then asks you to have it signed by your parents and bring it back the next day. At home that evening, you review the test with your parents, and they help you create study note cards for the next test in 2 weeks. Fast forward to today. Students walk into class, open their computers, and take a test. They select from a few multiple choice questions, never agonizing over the thought of leaving an answer blank. If a question's too hard, they simply make a choice and click submit. After that, the pressure passes and they move on with their day. At home that night, their parents ask, "How was your test?" They say, "I got a 70. The parents ask, "What did you get wrong?" And the student says, "I have no idea." I hear this all the time. The next day, the parents contact the teacher and go through multiple rounds of emails to schedule an appointment that fits into their schedules. 2 weeks later, the parents take off work, the teacher stays late to meet in the classroom, and then the teacher says, "I'm sorry, I can only show you examples of the test questions due to testing security." Everyone leaves frustrated. The students don't have the opportunity to review their mistakes, and the parents have no idea how to help. I'm here this evening to draw your attention to this situation. We adults need to think long and hard about programs like Mastery Connect and Amira. Times have changed, but learning has not. Parents are getting pushed out of the loop. Testing security is not an excuse for not being transparent with students and their families. There are many well-educated, creative teachers in Greenville County who are able to write new tests every year. Productivity and data gathering is not the same as developing learning skills. We all need to ask ourselves, what is the end goal? Are we equipping students to be successful or achieving a school report card? I encourage you to survey the teachers of Greenville County and ask for their feedback on Mastery Connect and Amira. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Alexis Moore.
Good evening. My name is Alexis Moore. I am here to thank the Board of Trustees for your commitment to the vision of Greenville County Schools. I speak from two perspectives. As a parent of 2 students at Summit Drive Elementary, where I also serve as the SIC chair, and as an educator, currently serving as gate coach for 4 different elementary schools. These roles allow me to see how your decisions play out across schools that vary greatly in the populations that they serve. Regardless of the zip codes, I see 3 clear signs that your leadership is making a positive impact. First is the commitment to hiring great teachers. My own children are being pushed to be the best versions of themselves every day. And in my coaching role, I see mentors and new teachers who are motivating and inspiring others every day. Your commitment to competitive pay is not just a line item. It is the reason that we can recruit and retain the best educators for our children. Second is the focus on growth. Across the schools that I support, I see a laser focus on instructional clarity and data-driven decision-making. The work happening in PLCs results in intentional instruction that raises the bar for everyone. Thank you for aligning the budget with the actual resources that teachers need to meet these high goals. It's a reason that our schools are moving from good to great. Finally, thank you for prioritizing a caring culture. Schools must be environments that practice empathy, resilience, and integrity. At Summit Drive, we see this in design thinking. Recently, we held Eagle Innovation Night at our school. Families engaged in interactive design experiences based on student research to promote a love of reading. It was a powerful example of community-led problem solving. We also see your personal commitment to building relationships. In October, Mrs. Leventis Wells and members of the Greenville High Band joined us at 7 a.m. on a drizzly, dark morning for walk, bike, and ride to school day. Seeing students, teachers, and families walking together and the band welcoming students created a sense of belonging and pride, and it brought lots of smiles. These magic moments where community comes together don't just happen by accident. They happen because you have made building relationships a defined priority in our district's strategic plan. In closing, on behalf of the Summit Drive School Improvement Council, we thank you for your service. Your dedication ensures that we are strengthening our community one family at a time as we inspire, support, and prepare all students to reach their maximum potential.
Thank you. And our last speaker is Mr. Terrell Brown.
Oh, yeah, I know the drill. Good evening. How's everyone doing? I think I'm a normal person by now every January. But unfortunately, it's time for me to make up my assignment, and I only have a couple of days to do it. So hopefully y'all will take my makeup assignment, ranking you all for School Board Appreciation Month, which was in January. Thank you all for some of the things that you all do, or all the things you all do. Words cannot express the work that you all put in behind the scenes that many people do not see. Everybody on the stage does a great thing to make sure you advertise the great positive thing that the school district does. And then also one of the things I could compliment you all about is whenever I have a question that is concerning, that I feel like is not a right question that I have to clarify, you all are so willing to make sure y'all clarify what is correct and what's not correct. Because rumors travel real fast, and it really kind of hurts the district. And I try to make sure when somebody asks me a question that I try to get the correct answer from somebody that's on this stage. And I want to thank you all for the outreach that you all have done. Many things that you all do, people don't see. Advocacy is a tough, tough world. And I know that sometimes talking to some politicians that are at State House or in Washington, D.C. can be very difficult at times. And there's some of the things that you cannot control. But thank you for the things that you do to advocate for our students, our employees, as well as for the people who work hard behind the scenes that you do not see. Also, one of the person that I also have to give credit to is one of the person that is kind of a person that really kind of is doing what it needs to be done. Dr. Royster, I can honestly say I know snow day is tough, and every time snow day comes out, you send the video. And the first thing my wife always says is, does his wife know he's on that road by himself like that? Because she says that I wouldn't have you on that road doing it. But keep up the good work, Doc. Keep up the great work. I know this is tough, sleepless nights, because it's one of the biggest school districts in the state of South Carolina. And for the people who work in the district office, keep up the great work, because statistics and a lot of things that you all have to do is very, very, very rough. And the main thing is to make sure that you all continue to do what you all need to do also. So our presentation goes like this. Cake and cupcake. You know who the cupcake goes to? You know who the cake goes to? I'm gonna let the cake person take care of that and decide who needs to get some for the district office people. And the cupcakes, you all know what you need to do. Hopefully next year we'll see you all next year in a great appreciation. Hopefully it doesn't snow again like it did this year. Take care of yourself, and you all have a great, 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 even though it's a late school board appreciation month. Keep up the great work, and we really appreciate all the things that you all do. Take care now.
Thank you. And thank you for the delicious treats. We promise that we won't try to steal from each other. Everybody wants the red velvet. Our fourth matter of business is 4.01, the superintendent's report. And Dr. Royster, you have the floor at this time.
Thank you, Dr. Stiles. And Terrell already left, but thanks to Terrell and his group for, it's kind of hard to top this and the bundt cakes, but we'll set that back out of the way. So a couple of things tonight that comprise the superintendent's report. First, I want to recognize the appointment of a director and 4 principals that were approved by the board at the special call meeting, the committee of the whole, earlier this month. So at this time, I'd like to introduce them publicly. So first, the newly appointed director for the Golden Strip Career Center, Treva Lee. Treva is currently principal at Northwood Middle School and has enjoyed a very long and successful tenure there. But we look forward to having him assume this new leadership role, kind of a new and challenging environment. But Treva, congratulations. We look forward to your leadership there. Sure. Do you have anyone with you tonight? Okay. The vacancy that was created that caused Treva to be announced just now as a result of one of our newly appointed principals, and that is the new principal at Travelers Rest High School, Michelle Michael. Michelle has done an excellent job in leading Golden Strip Career Center, and I would be remiss if I didn't share that Treva will be assuming the leadership of that center, which I believe leads among the career centers in the number of certifications and everything, according to Michelle, everything. Okay, so don't share that with her competitors, but obviously a great challenge there for Treva to step into that. Likewise, a challenge for Michelle coming into the principalship at Travelers Rest High School. We look forward to her being in that role. Again, has been very successful where she is. She is a member, a resident in the Travelers Rest community, and has been vested in the schools up there through her own family. So, Michelle, congratulations on your new assignment, and we look forward to your leadership there. Do you have anyone with you tonight? Okay. Our next introduction is the new principal at Hillcrest High School, April Reese. April. April served initially as an interim principal. We had a principal to leave Hillcrest late in the year, for us late in the year last year, during the summer, obviously before school started, but during the summer. She stepped in and has done an outstanding job leading the school as an interim, was currently serving there as an assistant principal, and through her work in the interim, she has certainly shown herself to be the type of leader that we need to have in place there at Hillcrest. So we welcome her and congratulate her on that new role. April, congratulations. Did you have anyone with you? Okay. I'm going to keep trying. Eventually I may get. Sometimes people bring others from the family, and sometimes they don't. The next introduction, similarly to April, Towers Rice stepped in and took over as interim principal at Lakeview Middle School, and the principal that preceded him left late in the school year. Done an outstanding job continuing to move the school forward there, and for that reason, he has been selected to continue in that as a permanent role as a principal at Lakeview, and we look forward to him continuing the path that he has already set towards building on the success the school was already experiencing and taking it to even greater levels of achievement. Towers, congratulations. We're glad to have you here tonight. By yourself, okay. No, here. I don't know if all these families want to wait and see how this turns out or not. I'm not sure. I'm going to try one more time, but I know this one brought somebody with her, several somebodies, because I met them earlier. So let me introduce at this time Holly Rollison, the newly appointed principal at Simpsonville Elementary School. Holly's currently serving as an assistant principal at Oakview. She's done an outstanding job in that role, and we look forward to her providing that sort of leadership in her first principalship at Simpsonville Elementary School. Congratulations, Holly. We look forward to working with you in that role, and I believe you have your husband and children. Good. Thank you, and welcome to each of you that came with her. It's always great to be able to introduce people into new leadership roles, and it is especially meaningful to be able to introduce someone who, for the first time, is becoming a principal. A very significant step in their professional career, and I believe in each one of these cases, a very significant step forward for our schools and for our district. So thanks to each of you for being with us tonight. So much as we, on occasion, run a delay when we have bad weather, we're operating School Board Appreciation Month on a 1 month delay. Well, ordinarily, we would have done this in January at the regular board meeting. So one thing I've tried to do for several years now is talk just a little bit, briefly, about the history of school boards. Now, I said briefly, so don't be misled by the first thing I'm going to say. The history of school boards in the United States begins in 1647 in the Massachusetts Bay Colony. This is arguably the oldest form of local governance, actually of governance at all, in what later became the United States. School boards, as you more typically recognize them today, probably trace their history to the early 1700s in Massachusetts, where they had what they referred to as select men that governed local schools. But the very first one was back in the 1600s. And so the tradition that these 12 individuals carry forward today is among the oldest in our country. And it speaks directly to local governance. And the belief that governance closest to the people that it serves is best delivered and best provides that service when it is governed by people locally. Now, a lot of times over the last recent years, we've seen a lot of decisions related to education made at the national level, made in state capitals. But I think it is extremely important to recognize the heritage and the importance of the bulk of those decisions being made by local individuals. Individuals that we have selected to represent us. One of the other most important aspects of serving on a school board is the title by which we refer to them, trustees, indicating that they have been given a trust to carry out. That trust of providing educational opportunities for our community that will speak directly to the development of our youth, what they will experience, how they will step forward as they become adults in our community, and how as a community they come together to build that which we live in. That is an extremely important and powerful responsibility. And what better denotes the frame of mind with which one should approach that than approaching it as a trustee? That is a tremendous trust and responsibility invested in these 12 individuals and elected school board members throughout our country, throughout our state. In the country, there are over 90,000 school board members. There are over 14,000 school districts. Sitting before you is the governing body of the 42nd largest school district in this country. They have the responsibility for overseeing and providing the resources that we operate with, which exceed over $1 billion a year. They're ultimately responsible for the manner in which, you heard referenced earlier, our emphasis on recruiting and retaining the best quality teachers we can, setting the expectations, providing the resources, determining who the superintendent will be, ensuring that I do those things that they wish for me to do to carry out those responsibilities. But the responsibility for 77,000 students and 12,000 employees and over $1 billion really pales in comparison to the responsibility of providing an appropriate education for each one of those 77,000 students. And the 12 members of this board do that not seeking the limelight, not seeking some recognition for themselves, but truly seeking to do that which they believe is in the very best interest of every one of those students. They may not all agree on everything all the time, but when they do disagree, or when they agree, it comes from the perspective of doing what we believe is the right and best thing to do for our students. We are most fortunate to have an outstanding school board. I'm most fortunate to be the superintendent in a school district that has an outstanding school board. But most importantly, the students that we serve every year are fortunate to be in a school district that is governed with their best interest at the forefront. So, on behalf of our students, our faculty, staff, and administration, I extend to you our appreciation for your service, your dedication, your commitment, and your willingness to accept and carry out the extremely important public trust. Now, we like to each year provide you a small token of that appreciation. We try to make that something that may be useful in your board service. So perhaps in a few minutes, it may appear. You'll have not only something good to eat, but so again, thank you for your service, and it is a pleasure to work with this group of people. Dr. Stiles, that concludes my report.
Thank you so much, Dr. Royster. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. We really appreciate that. And I just want to say that I speak for the whole board when I say it truly is an honor to serve. And that's why we're all here. We're honored to serve our communities and, most importantly, our students. So thank you. Our next three items are action items, and our first action item is 5.01, revision of board policy IA, artificial intelligence, and student device use. We have a recommended motion from the Committee of the Whole to approve the revisions to Board Policy IA as presented. This motion does not require a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion carries. Our second action item is 5.02, innovative and honors course approvals. We have a recommended motion from the Committee of the Whole to approve the local board courses as presented. This motion does not require a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. The motion carries. Our third and final action item is 5.03, sanitary sewer easement at central office. We have a recommended motion from the Committee of the Whole. This motion does not require a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion carries. Our sixth matter of business is item 6.01, information or action from board committees or liaisons. Does anybody have a report tonight to share? Okay, no reports. All right, our final agenda item is 7.01. Does anybody have any questions for Mrs. Stack tonight? All right. If not, this concludes our agenda. Again, thank you so much to everyone for your presence this evening. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Madam Chair?
Yes, Ms. Leventis-Wells?
Motion to adjourn?
Thank you. We have a motion from Mrs. Linda Leventis-Wells, a second from Mrs. Brett. All in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. The motion carries. We are adjourned at 6:43 p.m. Good night, everyone.